not least, the wine or maybe wines of the day, like we're doing today, wines plural. A synopsis, the background of the wine itself, and as I said before, while alone drinking and having fun throughout the show, as I talk and get educated myself by wine enthusiasts, as I have right to my left, and also visiting wine venues and establishments like we are right now. Adrice Wines here in Woodville, Washington, wine country, talking with Miss Julie, co-owner, tasting room manager of the establishment. Tell us what we're doing next, Miss Julie.
Well, you know, one of the first things that most people ask us is, what is Adrice? Like, what is that? So let's just cut to the chase. Adrice is a made-up word. It is a portmanteau. And a portmanteau is when you take two words and smash them together to make a new word.
I've done that many times.
Especially when I'm drunk. I am not drinking. I am working. So Pam's last name is Adkins.
Okay.
Adkins.
Gotcha.
My last name, as you've said several times beautifully, by the way, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bulris.
Yes.
Adrice.
Adrice, I love it.
That makes the name of the winery because
Nice.
we both own it together and we both put our heart and soul into it. Now, people still slaughter the name.
Oh, of course.
Right?
I slaughtered it when I first walked in.
Adrice, Adrice is one of my favorites, and so...
Because they think it's French or something.
Some Italian.
Italian or
all
whatever.
Kinds of stuff. So our tagline is, what's at your address? Because it sounds like
That's what it says out
address.
there. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
And just in case anybody wants to go to our website and take a look at any of our beautiful wines, you can visit us at www.adricewines, ADRICEWINES.wine. What? Not .com. Check out that DNS. .wine.
.wine. That's awesome. Well, I'm going to ask you the rest of these questions that I have for you. What goals in the wine industry are you still working to achieve as of now?
All right. Well, I told you I'd come back to this. Notorious won 98 points.
Yeah.
Every winemaker's dream is to produce a 100-point wine.
Of course.
And so we're just going to keep hacking away at it till we get it.
Yep.
That's our goal.
And you're going to get it, too.
I believe it.
Yeah. I know you will.
Yeah.
I know. All right. So, who do you most admire? I asked you at this. I prepped you on this earlier, so you had a little bit of time to think about it. So, who do you most admire in the world of wine?
Yeah. Don't laugh when I say this.
I will.
My wife Pam.
Well, no.
Yeah,
Why would I laugh at that? No. Yeah. You're just supposed to admire her.
There's a bajillion people out there, but here's why. So I love that Pam just is willing to put it all out there, willing to help people, and she's ridiculously generous.
Yeah.
She can fix anything in the world.
I love
if
it.
something goes wrong, she can fix it. And I mean, like if the wine goes bad or the wine goes, she can fix it.
Yeah.
She is just really, really gifted, and she brings all kinds of experience with her and has a dream and a vision for how she wants her wines to be and is uncompromising about it. We will not release a wine if we don't like it.
That's awesome.
And I feel really good about that. So she is my hero, and she does amazing work, and it's easy for me to be able to talk about the wines because they're just all so beautiful to
Yeah.
drink.
Yeah, I mean, what you just saying with the accident. I mean,
Yeah.
she fixed that one.
She fixed it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I would have just threw all of it away.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
She's like, damn that. Nah, we about to throw some of this together and just make an entire different wine.
Exactly. Exactly. Let me tell you a really quick story. When Pam actually started making our wines when we were down in Napa, Sonoma. And we brought up, when we moved up here to Washington, we brought up with us 300 cases and 19 barrels of wine from California.
Holy crap.
Way too much for two people to drink.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I suppose we should probably open a tasting room at this point because we got to sell this stuff.
Yeah.
So we brought up with us a 13, 14, 15 Sonoma Syrah, all multiple award winners.
Yeah.
The very first Syrah that she did here in Washington, to be really candid with you, she hated. Oh my God. Hated it. Now, the truth is, it's the same grade.
Yeah.
The biggest difference is, of course, the soil. And her palate wasn't used to Washington Syrahs, but seriously, she was thinking about literally turning the barrels upside down and dumping the wine. I'm like, no, you can't do that. So she got this wild hair, and she went out to Woodinville Whiskey and bought whiskey and bourbon barrels and filled them with this Syrah, and it has become a namesake for us. Fool's Gold is now a bourbon and whiskey barrel Syrah that we make. We're sold out of it right now, but we'll have more in the next year. Yeah. And people come far and wide to drink and taste Fool's Gold bourbon or whiskey Syrah. There's no bourbon or whiskey in it, but she saved the day by putting it in a different barrel, and it is incredible and totally different than anything you'd ever taste.
Holy crap. She is good.
She's gifted. Go, Pam!
All right. What do you find to be the hardest part of owning a wine company? Both of you, matter of fact.
Yeah, balance. I still have my full-time day job and then run the business side and the tasting room. And Pam, she could be here 8 days a week if go take a day off. Yeah. Finding balance. A lot of our friends don't own businesses, and so they're off doing all sorts of really fun stuff, and we often can't go because we've got to run the business. Yeah. Finding a balance is important to be able to care for ourselves and make sure that we don't burn out. And that's something that we focus on all the time.
Yeah, I mean, that just makes sense. You got to be able to balance.
Yeah. If you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of your guests.
Not at all. That's crazy. Yeah, well, I do understand that. All right, listeners, we're going to come back after this last song. We're going to talk with Miss Julie, let her finish up. I've asked her all the questions I need to ask her, but now she's just going to let her just freestyle after I play this little bit of funk and groove for you guys. We're going to be funking and grooving in cocktail hour, and then we're going to let her talk about some of the different type of wines that we've been tasting on today as well, and we're going to let her self-promote, market, whatever she wants to do. We'll be right back. Thank you guys for listening to Weddings, Music, and Wine. It's all about the funk right now, so let's get into a little bit of funky cocktail hour music. Let's go.
Are you ready? This is DJ most interesting DJ in the world.
Hey! What kind of music?
The only music worth being called music. I'm talking about the funk.
This is DJ New, the most interesting DJ in the world.
Welcome back to Weddings, Music, and Wine with News. Streaming on Spreaker.com, streaming live on Spreaker.com, available on all major streaming services, including iHeartRadio, Spotify, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Deezer, JioSaven, and Google Podcasts. Sponsored in part by The Den, ENT, because you can find everything you need in the den. My mom always used to tell me, you can find it in the den, baby. Go in the den. I'm pretty sure it's in the den. The remote is in the den. You can find everything in the den. So I hope you like that funk in your soul cocktail hour instrumental that just played. I'm talking about the funk. I love my funk. I mean, it reminds me of the 70s, 80s, all 90s when mom used to put it on the records and stuff like that. Blah, 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 blah. I can keep on going. But I also want to thank everybody for listening in, because right now we're live on location in Woodinville, Washington, here at Adrice Wines with Miss Julie Boris. I just like saying her name because her name is like connected to the actual name of the wine place as well. So, man, I'm just loving just spending my time here with her. So, Miss Julie, we're going to just finish up with you for this evening. So, what am I drinking on? You guys know I drink wine on every show. So I'm drinking wine right now. What wine am I drinking right now, Miss Julie?
Yeah, right now you are drinking a beautiful GSM blend. So, GSM stands for the three grapes that constitute that wine: Grenache, Syrah, Mourvedre, which is a French grape.
Okay.
There's not much of it in Washington, only because Mourvedre doesn't grow very much in Washington. So if a winemaker is going to make a GSM, they got to go source all three grapes. Then they can make it.
Yeah.
Once they source the grapes, it's up to the winemaker to decide what percent of each of those three grapes. Many, many winemakers in Washington will make their GSMs Syrah predominant, but Pam makes hers Grenache predominant. So you might notice lots of beautiful lighter red fruit.
Yep.
Things like cranberry, raspberry, cherry, pomegranate. The Syrah will bring it back in your palate, and I like to say coat your mouth in yumminess.
Yeah.
And you might pick up the Mourvedre at the very back end, a little black pepper.
I taste the pepper.
You got it,
yeah.
don't you?
Yeah.
And so it makes this my most food-friendly wine. It's really a beautiful, beautiful wine.
Really, really. What I say? Hella tasty?
Hella tasty.
Hella tasty. Really good. What else we got right here, Miss?
Yeah, so I brought a couple of our cabs. Pam is really well known for the cabs that she makes. So how about first pour? Our Riveter Red. So we make Riveter Red every single year. It's a tribute to the women in the World War II effort, like Rosie the Riveter.
Yeah.
The woman who is on the label was originally named Wendy the Welder. She was part of that series of women from the World War II effort to help keep our country going.
Yeah.
The original version of this label is Wendy the Welder holding a big pair of tongs with a cheese sandwich on the end, and she's a welder, so she's got a blowtorch, and she's toasting her sandwich. So we took the picture and gave it to a graphic artist who then put the sandwich in her lap, a glass of wine in her hand, and she's actually holding her own bottle with her own label.
Nice.
Which, if you know anything about this is known as the Drozdy effect.
Yes.
When you have an image within an image. And
within the image,
thing,
and then it's the same thing. Just keeps on going.
The Drozdy effect. So Riveter Red is a Red Mountain Cab blend. We make it every single year. It always wins multiple awards.
Nice.
I love this 18 because every once in a while I pop open a bottle and I can smell and taste Jolly Rancher Cherry. Tell me what you get.
No freaking way.
Tell me what you get.
Jolly Rancher Cherry. She said Jolly Rancher Cherry, India.
What? What is that, they say?
Oh
American,
my God!
isn't
You
that
are
beautiful?
freaking kidding me!
I know.
Yes, it is.
I know.
Holy
Isn't that
hell,
crazy?
that is Jolly. Yeah, that is Jolly Rancher. And I love Jolly Rancher.
I love Jolly Rancher Cherry especially. Yeah, it's yummy.
Oh, what else we got, Miss Julie?
All right, the last one that I brought over here is a really beautiful 100% cab. Pam actually made this for me. These are my initials, our JB cab.
Oh, nice.
So the story behind this is Pam knows that I love cabs. And, you know, she comes here every day. The production is just on the other side of that wall. She comes here every day and does her magic, talking to the barrels and doing all her magic that she does.
Like people talk to the plants, she talks to the barrels.
She talks to the barrels.
That's
she plays
awesome.
music to the barrels. You know, she won't even go back there and touch the barrels if she's not in a good mood. Because we believe that that really has an effect on the wine.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does. Yeah.
So she knows I love cab, and there was a period back in, a couple years ago, where she would bring home these little plastic vials and say, "Here, taste this. What do you think?" And I would taste them, and sometimes I'll be like, "Yeah." And other times I'd be like, "Oh yeah." Well, apparently she brought home one of these vials. I didn't know what she was doing. Brought home one of these vials, and apparently I really, really loved it. Like, oh my God, that's good.
Yeah.
So she came back. Unbeknownst to me, she wanted to make a cab for me. So she made the blend. She made the label with my initials on it.
That's
and
so
then
cool.
several months later, she came home and she brought home the bottle after she'd finished.
Did
and
she?
said,
Yeah.
I
She
made
presented
wine for you.
it to you.
And of course, I'm like, wow! I'm the crying baby on Sofa King Tragic. So